I loved everything about Breaking Bad. Complex characters, exceptional acting, realism, pacing of the show, cinematic storytelling, strong direction, and the chemistry. So I decided to buy the object which reminds me of this show. It is the RV that Walter and Jesse turned into a mobile lab where all the magic cooking happened. Fleetwood Bounder. There is a die-cast model by Greenlight, but it is very difficult to find and it is expensive. It has all the details, but I found a better option. The Breaking Bad RV building block set. It is not the official Breaking Bad RV, but an inspired one. The name is changed to obviously avoid copyright issue. I bought this because I get to build the exterior as well as the interior of the RV. I hope it will be fun making it. 986 pieces. Oh my god. Let's do the unboxing first. Not very complicated packaging. Nothing that my rusty blade can't open. There are 5 plastic bags containing smaller plastic bags which contains the pieces inside them. The big plastic bags have 1, 2 and 3 written on them. This is the instruction manual which you have to follow religiously if you want to do it properly. All 42 pages of detailed instructions. Some of these pieces are so tiny you need to be very careful that you don't lose them. I started the timer and intended to do it in just one day because I waited for so long to buy this and I just wanted to see the result. Setting up the base is most important because the whole structure will stand on it. It was difficult than it looked because the pieces didn't have tight fitting and were coming off very easily. Once the long single line bricks connected, the large pieces came together and I got some stability in the design. Doing the framework of the RVs beneath was a bit complicated. I had to take off the pieces several times until I got it right. It took me almost 50 minutes to set the lower frame, and then I came to realize that this was going to be a marathon race. Meanwhile, my son finished his lunch and came wondering why his grown-up dad is playing with toys instead of him. I had to coax and request him while he was playing with his aeroplane to leave me the hell alone. But he decided to help me anyways, even if I didn't need one. I was setting the interior before building the exterior. These brown blocks are the base for the counter where the cooking happened. These colored cylinders were the jars where the chemicals were supposed to be. I wish they provided more colors. These blue pieces are the reason why this show happened. You know what they are supposed to be. The option of decorating the interior is the very reason I bought this set. Some stuffs might not be visible after building the whole set, like the jars under the counter, but the person who put his effort building it will remember the intricate details. You can also change the design like I did later in this video. At this stage, I will ask you to see the manual carefully because I made a mistake. Because the manual is in 3D diagram and at an angle, there were some blind spots which made it difficult to understand. Sometimes I fail to understand what is happening in the space which are not quite visible, where to put the pieces and at what angle. If there were 2D diagrams in some of the instructions, it would have been quite easier to understand. I always loved building toys. Ever since my childhood days when I used to buy those G.I. Joe transports, those used to come in pieces with instruction manual as well and we had to build them. I honestly feel G.I. Joe merchandise were ahead of its time and it has never been matched by any other franchise. Those were for the masses. Maybe He-Man came close to it, but G.I. Joes were the king. Nowadays, action figures are so expensive, they are not for children. As if toy companies are making toys for adults. Actually, you don't call them toys anymore. You call them collectibles. Only collectors will buy them. Marvel merchandise and Jurassic World merchandise have so many characters, so many transports. They can do what G.I. Joe has done, but they are so expensive and out of reach of common people. The car seats are cleverly done. There are hinges which made the movement possible. At this point, I realized that without organization, this task will take longer to finish. So my mom started sorting the pieces. This helped me find what I want quickly. I will suggest you to open the entire packets first, then sort the pieces before building the model. Breaking Bad universe, which includes Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul and El Camino, is one of very few great trilogy. Breaking Bad introduced us to a very dark world that we are not familiar with. The backbone of the show is its story, which is driven by quality and not by quantity, which made them so interesting. The direction of the show was never rushed. Obviously, there were many dialogues which are cult, which are memorable to this day, but the director also utilized facial expression and body language a lot in many scenes. As a result, there were many scenes which had very few dialogues, and you needed an exceptional actors to pull off those scenes. The show also gave us many memorable characters like Walter White, whom we saw transitioning from a bogged down, underappreciated, unsuccessful teacher to a dangerous drug lord choosing to be bad because it makes him feel good. Saul Goodman, a crooked lawyer choosing to do what he does because it is his second nature. Jesse Pinkman, a product of bad parenting and bad influence, but deep down a good human. Gus Fring, cold-hearted, highly controlled and motivated villain. Hank, an out-and-out honest law enforcer who puts his duty ahead of his family and his own life. Mike, a resourceful fixer who operates with a strict personal code. There are other characters too in this trilogy who are either big or small but equally memorable. At this stage, I had to dismantle some of the interiors because I messed it up. So I kept it aside to redo after I complete the RV. Vince Gilligan was master of visual storytelling. Even objects and surroundings in his show told stories. There were scenes after scenes where there were no dialogues, but you were invested in those scenes. Television and cinema are essentially art, which require attention of your eyes and ears. Vince Gilligan made sure through his gritty dialogue, spot on screenplay and visual storytelling, a generation of good content lovers will enjoy his work. The lower portion of the front of the car was the most complicated part for me. Even after completing the model, I'm still not sure I did it right or not. It took me about an hour and several permutation and combination to reach the satisfactory way of putting the lower portion together. Setting the front portion of the car wasn't a challenge for me, but lower portion of the front side was gruesome. Later in the video, I will show you what changes did I make. Doing the roof wasn't a big ask. The design is simple and repetitive. Only problem I had was that the base of the roof lacked the lumbar support. But I took care of it in my own way. The roof is detachable, or should I say not designed to be fixed. You can just lift it and see the interior whenever you please. My mom commented while I was building the set that why did you pay so much to buy a thing that you need to work so hard to build. Obviously, building the RV was fun and owning an iconic reference to the show was worth it. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are not your regular shows. They are piece of art which needed to be studied by future filmmakers. This is the last stage, which is attaching the wheels. To do it, I went to a separate room because everyone went to sleep except me. Throughout the day, I took several breaks to eat, to go to bathroom and to play with my son. At 1:42 am, I finally finished it. It took me 7 hours, 18 minutes, 28 seconds to finish it. You can see many bricks and accessories remain unused. Even though I am done, I had definitely screwed up few times. There are many gaps in the car and the interior needed a redo. So this is how it looked at the end of the day. 3 days later, I fixed the flaws and this is how it looks now. I simply used those leftover pieces and moved few bricks from here and there to fill up the gaps and be creative and design few things which are not in the manual. As you can see, I redesigned the roof. There were 4 leftover fume bricks. I attached them to the pipes. I attached this brown and grey brick to give it a cool look. One cream color small piece was missing, so I used this red color brick. In the interior, I fixed the counter. I removed the blue glass from here and replaced it with an orange square piece. The RV model did not come with any headlights, so I attached that blue glass at the place where headlights are supposed to be. The floor had a monotone look, so I placed these bricks to make it look better. This decorative pipe I made out of leftover jars. At the driving seat, I lifted the steering bit high with the use of another brick. Now it is above the seat. I made this can be some kind of light. This one is just decorative. Here is the gear. I put this grey glass on the side for decoration. The lower portion of the car is not accurately done, but I fixed it with my own design. This portion was coming off because there was a gap. I attached a long thin brick to give it a support. The steps in front of the door was loose, so I redesigned it. Now it is tighter. As I said before, the roof lacked support beneath it, so I used the leftover pieces to fill up the gaps. After I finished being creative and fixing the flaws, these few pieces remain unused. This is the present look of the RV and I am quite happy with it. Would I recommend you to buy this? Absolutely. It's totally worth it. Go for it.